Hey folks, it's James here and welcome to the Movie Mad channel. Today I'm going to make a video on the mistakes I've made being a physical media collector. Now, as you know with all my videos, most of all James usually brings me a tea. And he's made an instructional video on how to make the perfect cup of tea, so I'm going to insert that in the video at some point, but he's just delivering it now and he has got his own take on the mistakes I've made in being a physical media collector, haven't you? So wait just now, you can sit down and do it. Okay.
Alright.
Right, so I'll put my tea there. In fact, I'll have a drink first. That is good. Okay. Right, you can come and sit down. And this is a joke, isn't it?
Maybe.
So what's the biggest mistake I've made as being a physical media collector?
Number 1. Start being a physical media collector.
You think that's a mistake? All right then. Okay. I hope he's joking, because he's going to have to inherit and distribute all my movies when I die, aren't you?
Give them to Roy or something.
We've already got some kind of arrangement. I'll tell you about that. Right. Okay. But you don't need to know that. Right. Okay. I'll be back. Let's tell you what. Let's roll the intros, and then we'll insert James's tea video. Hey folks, it's James from the Movie Mad channel here, and I said to my son earlier, when we were having brunch, he actually made the perfect cup of tea, and I asked him how he did it, and he says he's going to make me another one for my video in a second. So he's going to show us how to make the perfect cup of tea, and we're going to insert it into the video. Remember to mention the good tea bags. Alright, you show them how to make the perfect cup of tea for the Movie Mad channel. I'll leave you to it.
Alright. First, you want 1 spoonful of sugar.
Brown sugar, is it?
Yeah, brown sugar. Then you wait for the kettle to boil, then put the tea bags in.
Right, okay.
That's what I did this time.
And then what about the tea bags? Are you just pausing there waiting for the kettle, are you?
Yeah.
We should be pausing while we're waiting for the kettle.
No, it's about to be done. You can hear it.
Alright, okay.
Any second now. And
You see a watch pot never boils?
oh, I didn't work. And there we go.
Now what do we do? Kettle.
Then you're gonna pick up your kettle.
Oh, you put the tea bags in?
Nope, you put the tea bags in after the water. That's what I did last time.
Is it? Okay, fair enough. If that's what you want to do. That's how you made the good cup of tea, which was really good.
Then you pour like around 3/4 of water into your cups. Then for the good tea bags.
Yes. Should we tell them which ones they are?
Why?
Just so that people know in case they want to have the good cup of tea.
Sure.
Have we got the box left, or is that the last ones?
That might have been our last box.
That's okay. I order, well, but it's Twinings Everyday Decaf. I'm sure there was a box still in there.
There might be one in here.
No.
Jeez, you better buy some.
I will.
And then you're going to leave this for around 3 minutes. But first you're going to squeeze the tea bag at the side 3 times. Then you're going to wait 3 minutes.
3 minutes? Is that the only way earlier? I thought
Yeah.
we had 2.
Nope. Which one is it to pause? Square or 2 lines?
What?
Square or 2 lines to pause?
It's the 2 lines to pause.
So one of the tricks is to also make sure the tea bags never touch the milk.
Is that one of the tricks, is it?
Yeah.
Of making the perfect cup of tea for your dad?
We're going to give it a couple, like 2 dunks. Then...
I better get my area ready for the video while you're doing that.
Alright. Then take it over to the bin.
Here's my coaster.
And then you don't want to add too much milk because then it will become white and all horrible.
I like the orange.
You want a little bit so it becomes orange, but not enough so you still see like little ripples of tea.
Okay then.
Should I show them the colour?
That's up to you, yeah? Are you going to eat your donut with yours?
Nah.
That was your treat, wasn't it?
And you're
Because
gonna.
we're not buying snacks all week, are we?
Then one thing you're gonna want to put your milk away so it doesn't go bad.
Yeah, of course.
Then give it a little mix.
You've not got much water in your one.
Didn't really want much water.
Okay, that's fine. I need a wee bit of top up than that though. That's
want
like half a
some
tea.
You want some
A
more?
wee bit more water, please.
I can
Just a
get-
wee bit.
I don't know if I'll need more milk.
No, you won't. That'll be fine.
I think that'll be enough.
Right, okay. Right, we can show them the colour of the tea if you want.
Can you?
I can tilt the camera, yeah. Oh,
the
there we go.
perfect tea colour.
Perfect, okay. So next time you see James, you'll be delivering it in my video, won't you?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Right, so I hope you enjoyed James's instructional tea making video. I don't know if you had to skip that if you wanted to, but you can. But he wanted to do that, so I'll let him. And now we're going to get back to the 5 mistakes. Not 5, I don't know how many mistakes it is that I make as a physical media collector myself. And let's start with number 1. I'll have a sip of my tea first. That is a good one. Number 1 is space. Now, I probably told you guys this story before of how I started becoming a physical media collector and getting into them. Now, I've always liked movies. I've always bought from Blockbuster, had a small collection of DVDs, bought here's one in there, watched a lot of films. But what happened in 2016 is that round about Christmas time, I had some issues and I was off my work for 3 months. And I found a channel, it was John Flickster in America, him showing him going out and collecting DVDs and Blu-rays. I thought, I've got quite a good collection of DVDs and Blu-rays. And because I wasn't feeling so great, I was starting to take walks around the neighbourhood, and there was happened to be quite a few charity shops and the CEX. So I started to get myself a few Blu-rays. So what happened is my gran and I were in Asda one day, and I hadn't got a Blu-ray player yet, and there was a Blu-ray player in there, and it had The Amazing Spider-Man. It was a Sony Blu-ray player, and I think it was like something like £40. And my gran very kindly bought it for me. And I was like, okay, I'll come back, I'll put that on my TV. And then I seen the quality on the Blu-ray. I still had a 32-inch TV at the time, but I could see the quality. And I thought, this is really good. And I then got one more Blu-ray, which was Harry Potter double pack of the Philosopher's Stone and Chambers of Secret. And that was out of cash converters. I think I paid like £6 for it. But then I found myself, during this time I was off, because I wasn't sleeping and things, trying to motivate myself to go out. And that I motivated myself to go out on these journeys. So I did start buying a lot of movies. And the thing is, I didn't have any shelving or anything like that, and they piled up at the side, and that wasn't a good thing. If you're going to start collecting, make sure you've got somewhere to put it. So that's what I would say about storage and space, is just make sure you've got somewhere to put it, because actually they started all piling up behind the couch and things like that, and that wasn't good for you. So that's the first mistake I made. I'm going to move on to the second in a second, but I'm just going to pause and I'll be right back. Sorry, my daughter just came home and just wanted to make sure she knew I was filming. So that's fine. And as I was saying, space, it wasn't just space, it was buying lots and lots of stuff that you weren't really interested in. You know, just back because they were there. But at the time, for me, it got me out the house. And then when I seen John Fletcher, I thought I could do that. I could do a few wee videos. And I started to make myself feel better. And I eventually got myself out of that place and was back to work and finding motivation in other places. But this has always carried me through. So that was the first mistake, is underestimating how much space you'll need. Now, I've still got a small area, but I found innovative ways, if that's a word, innovative, yeah, that's the word, ways of storing them, like my boxes, like the Polly Pockets. Coincidentally, I have got these here because I'm putting them on the CLZ cloud I've got. So yeah, that leads me to my second point, and that is buying duplicates, because I've been caught out of when you've got quite a big collection and you don't realise what movies you've got in it. Sometimes you end up buying duplicates. I just looked the other day and I couldn't believe it. In fact, did I put it down there? I did. Let me see. I'm just trying to see where I put it. Give me 2 seconds. Prepared as always. I don't know what I've actually done with it, but the other day I was looking through my movie collection, and I've got like actor sections. I had Mel Gibson's selection, and I had 2 copies of Braveheart. I mean, literally one there, another movie, and then Braveheart on the other side. And it's like my brain couldn't clock there was 2 copies there. I'm like, how have I ended up with 2 copies? So if you are collecting them and you are going to get a big collection, sometimes it's better to use an app to try and track what you've got, but you do need to keep that app up to date. And I'm guilty of not keeping that up to date. That's why I was just starting to put some of these Polly Pocket ones on there, make sure they're up to date, and so I know where them, because in the app you can put where they're stored. For example, if it's a DVD and my box is over here, try and put which box it's in, and also just making sure that that's up to date. I'll put a link to my CLZ cloud in the video so you can have a look and see what I've got, but as I say, it's not up to date. So that was the second mistake I think I've made as a physical media collector. The next one is when you're buying releases, if you are doing this, from other countries' websites, just make sure they have an English audio track. Obviously, if you speak English, it's your primary language, and you can't watch the film in another language, then there's no point in getting it. And I made that mistake, and I actually made the mistake 3 times, because I ordered 3 copies of this, ordered 3 because I was going to send one to Roy and one to Larry, and that is the Rainmaker, the German release. Honestly, don't know why, but it does not have an English audio. So this is obviously an American movie. You'd have to remove the English audio in order to do that. So why they've done that? So why is it still in my collection? Because what I've done, believe it or not, is I've put the DVD in this case just because it's neater. So I've got the DVD in there. I know there's a Japanese release, as Alan Kermit's Ghost has told me, but I think that's way beyond my means at the moment. I don't think I'll ever see that one. I just hope that they do release the Rainmaker in the UK with a English audio track. So that's another thing. And I've made that mistake multiple times. I think this is another one I bought. I think this is called The Apartment from Studio Canal, but it doesn't have English on it. It's only got Spanish. So I've made that mistake a couple of times. Why have I still got that? That's the other thing. Not getting rid of titles when you really should, when they're just sitting here and you're not going to watch them. That's another mistake I'm guilty of making. But am I getting any better than that? Well, I have been instituting my one in, one out policy, and I got rid of maybe 50 or 60 titles at once that I wasn't going to watch, to add ones that into my collection that I was going to watch. So, keeping things that you aren't going to watch, I think that's a mistake. Am I great at that? No. Could I improve? Yes. Hopefully that will improve. So that's another one. So we've got space, foreign releases with English titles, buying duplicates, and next one I think is really important as well, is that when you are buying discs second hand, because I'm a budget movie collector, I tend to buy a lot of discs second hand from CX. Now on the 4Ks especially, okay, if you're buying a 4K from CX, check the disc for any signs of scratches, because any scratches or any little flaws in a 4K disc, they just won't play. And I buy to trade. That's what I've done when I went around the charity shops on that little 3-month journey. I've continued to do that. So I've been doing that for 8 years now. And sometimes when you're in the height of frenzy in a charity shop and you see something, you're like, that's excellent, I can trade that in for a decent profit, and then get something that I want from CX. So for example, I done that the other day. I picked up this Beatles anthology. It was £1, and I was like, this trades for 11, that's a great thing. And I had a handful of other stuff, and I was like, no, that'll be okay, I'll just take it. And when I got home, missing disc. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 are missing. So no trading for me on that one. And again, why is that sitting around here? Should be away. Well, the reason it isn't is that even these 3 discs have value on eBay. So I think I'll just pop them on. I've been listing a few things over the last few weeks. So I'll probably post these individual ones on, so I can maybe make my £1 back, shall we say. And I wouldn't take something back to the charity shop that I've purchased unless it was really expensive, because it's charity, and I know a lot of them are shops and they've got staff and employees, but essentially it's charity, and I'm not going to go in there and go back for my £1. So that's my next mistake, is please check your discs, especially from CX if they're 4K, especially in charity shops if you are going to trade them in. Because I had a whole bunch of ones that I bought 10 for £1, and I thought I didn't bother checking them because they were 10p, and the entire lot of them had to go in the bin. And the other thing was, both myself and Roy have fell foul to this. I'm just going to give Cookie a breadstick, and I'll be right back. I've given him his breadstick and had a bite for myself. There, so, what was I saying? Yeah, both myself, Roy, and I fell foul of this. So Roy went to buy the original copy of The Fly from CX, and they put the David Cronenberg, Jeff Goldblum one. And I said at the time, I wouldn't have minded that because I prefer that movie. But I said that, and I hadn't actually seen the original Fly, and I have actually watched that now, and that was a pretty decent film. But the one there was a special release of The Hunger Games Catching Fire. It's a really nice cut and really nice slipcover. And I thought it was £1. I thought I could replace my copy of that with that. And they put the original disc in, so I ended up having to throw it out. It was £1, and I wasn't. It was the CX was miles away. And I didn't want to go back. So checking your discs is absolutely vital on there when you get them, especially second hand, as I'm saying. So I think I've made the point on that, and I had one more point to make, and I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I remember it now, and I don't know if it's a controversial one or not. But buying a movie for the slipcover alone, I am a victim of that. I am. I look at a nice slipcover and I think that's an indication of what the film's going to be. And I'm trying to think of an example. One that I have an example one is Island of Death, Romero. I thought that's going to be a great movie. Looked at the slipcover, looked at the cover of it. It looks excellent, but the movie for me was absolutely terrible. So buying a movie just for the slipcover, I still do that. I'm guilty. I'm guilty of it still. And you could say I'm guilty of that at the moment, and that is with the Van Damme collection. There's a couple of the Van Damme collection I've not got up there, and I have been looking at them online just to get the limited edition number and the limited edition slipcover. Yeah, we all fall foul of that sometimes. And the two I was looking at was Universal Soldier Return. Now, I've never seen that movie, but I've heard it's not the greatest. But some people say it's good, so maybe I'm not a victim in that case because I do want to watch the film. It's got a great slipcover. The other one is from In Hell, which I want to get, which I've not seen yet. So am I buying them because they want them in my limited edition collection? Or am I buying them because I actually want the film? It's a bit of both, I think. And that can lead you down a path of spending money that you don't have. And I would like to say that I don't think I've ever bought a movie that's put myself into debt. You know, but I've not got the money and I put on my credit card or something like that. I don't think I've ever done that. So a lot of people make that mistake by getting themselves in debt over what is essentially a luxury item that you don't need. You know, this is a hobby. I do it on a budget. Let's do it that way. Obviously, if you've got money, plenty of money and you want to do it that way, that's fine. But don't get yourself in debt for your hobby or for your movies. I think that should have probably been the title of this video. But I'll show you my Van Damme collection up here as an outro, shall we say. So I hope you've enjoyed my video on the mistakes I've made as a physical media collector. I'll just zoom in on my nice Van Damme collection for the end. Can we get in over here? Let's see. Oh, too high. My chair's in the way. Let's pause you and I'll get you over there in a sec. Here we are, my nice Van Damme collection. They're not all in order. Excellent covers, everything like that. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you've watched that. I hope you liked it, and I hope you've all my new subscribers, including and my existing ones, have enjoyed my video. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. If you've got any comments about anything I've said, please put it in there, and we can speak about it. Thanks, guys.